DaftPina is one of the most well-respected commentators on YouTube, and I myself have quite a lot of respect for him. He was one of the main guys who exposed Cosmodor, he was one of the biggest inspirations for Just Stop, and he orchestrated a plan with a bunch of commentators, such as me, Ellis Mark,
yes, he used to be a commentator,
Manga Comment, and others to all expose Otaku Studios. But in the last year or so, he's kind of fallen off his rocker just a little bit, and I'm certainly worried for the guy. A lot of you have probably heard how he totally accidentally doxed someone, and now a lot of people are starting to think that Daft might not be such a good guy. But the thing is, he's kind of always been like this. Despite how respected he was in the commentary community, he certainly didn't start out that way. When I first heard about the guy, people weren't telling me how good he was. They actually wanted me to cover one of his videos, his infamous video on JaidenAnimations. And you know what? I'm now going to cover it. Better late than never, I suppose. Now, before we get into it, please note that he has apologized for this video, and he has taken it down. But I still need to talk about it to show that Daft has kind of always been this way. So let's dive right into DaftPina's video covering JaidenAnimations' video, Why I Don't Have a Face Reveal.
Now that I got that out of the way, let's talk about the tone of the video. The tone of her video is depressing, and that's on purpose. First, let me show you an example of one of her previous videos with her quote, natural personality.
What if dogs were the humans of the earth? Like, instead of a human society, it was dogs. What would they create? Would they build a government? What would their education system be? Would they create dog hobbies and dog sports? I'm not talking about the typical throwing frisbees and tennis balls.
Alright, now let's take a look at a snippet of her face reveal.
It wasn't only telling me what I was doing wasn't enough, it started telling me I wasn't enough. And that's when I started wanting to fix it. I started eating less, trying to be happier with myself.
Well, golly gee willikers, Daft, thanks for pointing that out. I would have never noticed if you didn't. Daft, when someone is making a serious video about struggling with bulimia, what did you want them to do? Did you want Jaiden to have herself riding on a unicycle?
Now, there's a clear separation between her videos and their art styles. In Jaiden's regular video, My Random Thoughts, you can see she is energetic, sarcastic, and awkward. And for her art style, it's more structured. And, at least compared to the other video, is in color. But for her face reveal, she sounds depressed, is slow to talk, and she likes to end words or sentences with a dramatic break.
You know, I may be a robot with a human brain, but I sometimes think Daft might be a human with a robot brain. I love how Daft can look at someone's struggle with bulimia and depression and all he can think is, yeah, but the animation doesn't look good as all her other videos.
Her art style in the video is less structured than her normal videos, and kind of feels like scribbles on paper. This is supposed to represent how damaged she feels in her life. And it kind of looks like something a moody teenager would draw on DeviantArt after someone said they looked ugly. And she uses it to subconsciously attack the viewer to engage them. As part of the face reveal at the end of the video, she draws herself with a black bar over her eyes, symbolizing how it feels to keep hidden in the world.
Daft, seriously, what's with all the air quotes? Why do you think she's lying? Why would she need to lie about something like this? And subconsciously attack the viewer? Really? Could you not think of a more charitable interpretation than that?
But there are a few times where she uses cacophonous sounds to instill a emotional response from her audience.
I felt broken and that no one could fix me. Black fog surrounded me everywhere I went and I couldn't breathe. I was so stretched thin. I was trying so hard to swim, but the waves kept coming, each one stronger than the last. But I kept going. I don't know why.
This practice is called making the video seem more serious than it actually is.
What's your point? Imagine if Jaiden was just goofy like she always was in this video. Daft would have complained that she's not taking depression seriously and is just making a joke out of it. Daft then shows that he can imitate the same cacophonic sounds as JaidenAnimations, showing to people that it gets a more emotional response out of them. I don't know why he thinks this is an argument. If he really thinks this is a point, it makes him look quite daft.
If you feel anything from it, then it worked. and I just tricked you into caring more than you should. So yeah, it was just as easy to replicate, just like her animations.
Good for you, I guess. Should she not try to make people care more? Is she hurting anyone by doing this? No, not really. I also love the sound effects he puts at the end, as if it's like an own or something.
The more you watch, the more you feel for her and her troubles, that when she finally shows her face, you are up to tears as you clap for her and congratulate her for her struggles in life and accomplishments and making it this far in her life. And after watching it, you feel that she deserves being where she is right now. And she is amazing for beating the odds of her mental disorders. And if you experienced any of that, then she just baited, hooked, and got you with her emotional guilt.
Oh, Daft, please shut the fuck up. It's not like she's falsely accusing someone of something. She's just talking about her struggles, after she did like a cajillion funny, hilarious videos to watch. Let her have this one, god damn you fucking asshole. Like, Jaiden is one of the least offensive people in the world, and because she does one thing for herself, he has to have a problem with it.
VidCon. I already planned to go before things got so bad because you have to plan so far in advance for it. I didn't want to let people down by breaking my promise to be there, and I wanted to see all my friends and supporters.
Yes, you made a tweet about it all the way back in November of 2015. As you talked about that, you got creator tickets. And VidCon is around June 23rd to June 25th. So if she did feel a change in her mood, that is very likely, as that was about 7 months between those two dates. So going on that, let's watch a bit more.
But I was in such a terrible state. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was panicking. I wasn't ready. I wasn't back to normal yet. But I was approaching so quickly, and there wasn't any time to go back.
Well, you could have canceled.
Another doomed if you do, doomed if you don't situation. Oh my god, Jaiden just canceled. She lied to all her fans. She promised she would go and she just didn't. It's exactly what Daft would have said if Jaiden canceled. Daft, Jaiden is doing this thing called thinking of others and putting them before herself. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. It's called thinking of others and not just thinking about yourself. You should try it sometime.
Now, this tweet was made about a month before VidCon. Wait a second, she even replied to this tweet, bumping just so many people see this as possible. You know, Jaiden, the more I look into your video, it kind of feels like you're lying to your audience.
Yeah, when you're an internet celebrity or any kind of public figure, you have to put on a brave face. That's what the point of the mask is! If Daft is saying that Jaiden is lying in her video about why she doesn't have a face reveal, then he's a fucking asshole. If he's saying that she's lying to her audience that she's fine, so she doesn't let them down, then he also looks like an asshole.
Because if she said she put on a fake persona to cover up her sadness, then could we speculate that she's been faking it for other videos as well?
Bingo bango, Daft, you hit the nail right on the head. Wait, were you trying to make an argument? I don't see what your point was.
I messaged the person who was taking a lot of video footage and asked them if I could censor my face out. I'm not going to mention who this person is because that detail doesn't add anything to this story, and I don't think it would benefit anyone if I did. They agreed, so I spent the afternoon editing their video censoring my face. When I finished and sent it over a few hours later, they told me they changed their mind and wanted to post the normal video. I was absolutely mortified.
Well, in the video, she never mentions who that person was. Now, why do you think that? Maybe it's because she still wants to work with that person in the video. Or just by not saying their name, that person would get bullied even more after this video is released.
Are you serious? Not mentioning the person will get them even more hate? Do you still hold that opinion now? Like, I understand you were new to YouTube at the time, but holy shit, were you actually this stupid? Mentioning the person will get them more hate. Not mentioning the person would mean that less people would know who the person is who did that. Like, Daft, do you think if I covered your video but blurred out your face,
morphed your voice so people didn't know who I was talking about,
do you think that would get you more hate or less hate? Is subtweeting about people instead of tweeting at them going to get them more hate now? Again, this is such a doomed if you do, doomed if you don't situation. If Jaiden mentioned who the person was, Daft would have said, oh, she could have left their name out of the video.
Because if she does not feel comfortable saying who that person was, then he hurt her even more than she's letting on.
Or she's leaving out his name so he doesn't get hate, which is what 99% of people would assume. Of course you're a special case because you just want to demonize people.
And that person was It's Alex Clark, as we can see him filming here in her VidCon video. Well, you never thought about that when you filmed with Tiffy Quake. You know, the person who filmed you specifically for her channel, the same channel with 1.2 million subs. But of course, Alex gets the blame for your hurt feelings just because you happen to be in his video.
Well, Daft, wait a second, that's actually somewhat of a decent point. Daft actually did it! But still, she edited his video, but he still uploaded the version that she didn't edit. Plus, the other girl has a much different audience than Jaiden does. And this person could have also just simply slipped her mind, or Tiffy Quake could have uploaded the video before Alex Clark did, or before Jaiden had a chance to talk to her.
Now for disclaimer, I never actually seen Alex's VidCon videos. That's because Alex took down his VidCon videos because Jaiden's fan base bullied him relentlessly. And I'm very sorry to hear that this has happened.
No, you're not. And also, no one has control over their audience. Imagine if she did mention his video, he would have gotten harassed way fucking more.
Wait a second. In your face reveal video, you said you never told anyone about your life and what you were going through.
There's a main reason, and I haven't told this story to anyone. Thing is, I don't tell people my problems because I feel like I can handle them on my own.
But here you told Alex Clark?
When I finished and sent it over a few hours later, they told me they changed their mind and wanted to post the normal video. I was absolutely mortified and forced myself to explain to them the main reasons why I don't want to show myself, hoping that if they knew the story behind it, it would help them change their mind again. But it didn't.
That's weird, Jaiden. Very weird.
Wow, he made another decent point. Too bad it doesn't really mean much of anything. She says at the start of the video she never told anyone her story, but later on in the video she did admit to telling someone her story. I want to call this a lie, more of a mistake, but even if she did lie, it's a pretty lame lie.
Well, let me ask you this. Why does Jaiden think that we care what she looks like?
I don't know. Why does anyone care what any YouTuber looks like? I mean, people cared what I looked like, and of course they all use the ugliest pictures of me. Fucking assholes. But yeah, every YouTuber who hides their face, people are curious as to what they look like. I was curious as to what I Hate Everything looked like, and then I actually saw his face and was greatly disappointed.
The fact that she made an entire video dedicated to her life and how great she is leaves me to believe she might be a bit narcissistic.
Oh no, a Storytime animator talked about their life, just like all the others do.
She made a video about her experience on YouTube. She even talks about how she got a special yearbook for having 1 million subs, and she even shows off her YouTube achievements, such as the plaques she has on the ground. You know, the thing that some people dedicate their lives to get, and she just has them lying on the floor.
She just has them on the floor. Yeah, she probably just took them out of the box and placed them on the floor, like most people do when they just took something out of a box.
If she put this up with all her other rewards, he would have still complained about that, saying things like, oh, look at her, showing off all her accomplishments. How dare she actually achieve something? Now, a lot of YouTubers do strive to have 1 million subscribers and get that golden play button, but Jaiden actually got it. She probably just got excited, took it out of the box, put on the floor, and then showed it off. You're acting like she just threw the American flag on the ground and spit on it or something. Calm the fuck down, bro.
She also talks about how some people think she's a god.
I've gotten comments and messages from people actually saying I'm a god that can do no wrong. And that, yeah, don't do that.
But she weirdly doesn't give any examples.
What? She doesn't give any examples? Dude, some people have treated me and you like we're gods who can do no wrong. But if you really wanted an example, I'll give you one right now. I can't think of another YouTuber who's more perfect than Jaiden. I'm a complete simp for her. I would totally kill you in Minecraft just to get her to spit in my face.
Does she think that some of us see her as a god? That's, it's pretty weird.
Why? No, why? You're not making an argument. Explain yourself.
Face reveal video where she mentioned the VidCon one, that very same video spiked in views. Wait, why would someone talk about a video that they made in the past and bring new light on it? Oh, that's right. For money.
Yes. Were you trying to make an argument about something? I also talk about some of my older videos so they get more views so I get more money, and I bet you do the same. Was there a point here? Oh, let's just move on.
Now, how could you follow up a video like her face reveal? How could she show her fans that she grew from this experience and that she's a better person from it? Well, she shat out a 23-second explanation.
Alright, before anything else, I made a video I normally wouldn't make just before this one, and I talked about a bunch of important things, and I showed my face. Not everyone cares about me talking about personal stuff, and are only here for the fun videos, so just to make sure everyone's on the same page, this is me. This is what I look like, okay? Anything else you stumble across isn't recent. This is the only accurate picture video of me. So stop asking. Okay.
Wow, Jaiden, it's like that face reveal video never happened. And it feels like those months and even years of torment also never happened.
Wait. Hold on. So because she showed her face in her follow-up video for the people who are just here for the fun videos and are curious about what she looked like, but don't want to watch her whole video about her traumatic experience, you are implying that her whole story is fake because of that. Seriously?
I'm glad that you're going back to your normal personality. You know, the one that's happy and awkward. The one that your fans love because that's the real you. Wait, if that's the real you, then what happened in the face reveal video?
Oh my god, at first I was joking with my last point, but you really do think she was lying. Daft, she's not saying her fun personality is her normal personality. It's her normal personality for her YouTube channel. Do you think people are happy or sad all the time? I'm a robot voiced by an autistic man and I know more about human emotion than you.
Now, Jaiden might be bipolar, dissociative identity disorder, antisocial personality disorder, borderline personality disorder.
You know, let's be honest here. If any other YouTube animator said something like this, Daft would immediately call them ableist.
Listen, to anyone out there who's actually going through any of these things, go talk to a family member or friend.
Oh, really? Wow, Golly G Willikers, so if I have mental disorders, I should talk to a family member or friend about that? Wow, it's not like that's the first thing anyone with a mental illness has done.
Try to set up an appointment with your doctor or therapist.
What if they can't afford it? What then?
But Jaiden, you didn't have to bring someone else down just for personal gain. And I mean a lot of personal gain.
Hello, Pot. My name is Kettle. Have we met?
She is narcissistic, devious, compulsive liar, and manipulator to her fans and new viewers.
Projection, my name is DaftPina.
She knows she cannot quit YouTube, as that is her only way of income because she dropped out of college to pursue it. I think deep down, she knows that she won't get that far with making storytelling animations.
Dude, she has 10 million subscribers now. She's bigger than ever. Boy, that point age like milk.
I guarantee Jaiden will see this video and not make a response to it because I either said things that are very true or because she doesn't want to break character for her subscribers and fans.
Or maybe she won't respond because back then you were an irrelevant nobody and your points were fucking dog shit. Okay, so I'm done with this JaidenAnimations video. I had more points I wanted to go over, but this video is going to be long enough without it. So what did Daft do after this video? Well, believe it or not, he actually got a lot better. He basically became a legend in the commentary community, being responsible for the Spetchy bandwagon, the Fox Goodman bandwagon, exposing people like Cosmodor and Otaku Studios. For a few years, he really got his shit together, but it was around the time he made his, I believe, second video on TheOdd1sOut where I noticed he started going back to the person he used to be. Basically, he discovered a whole bunch of TheOdd1sOut older deleted videos, and he decided to go over them to see if he could find any dirt on the guy. Well, it's several years later, so let's see how Daft has improved his argumentative skills.
Mentions how he wants to make a BLM comic?
Play on the Black Lives Matters, because lives and licorice start with an L. And that was it. I thought it was funny. I'm not saying anything bad about Black Lives Matter. I've made comics about Hitler, Satan, bears eating babies, and okay, a couple of people were offended from the bear one. But just mentioning BLM, I don't know if I'd get in trouble for that or not. So I'm not gonna make that comic idea, but it's okay because I still gotta say it in this video.
Wait, didn't James make a BLM post in 2020? I don't remember him mentioning this video.
And apparently his argumentative skills haven't gone up after all these years. Daft, why the fuck would he have to bring up that he did not make a comic that was a wordplay off of Black Lives Matter in a BLM post? And this is the moment when I realize something. If Daft can't make an argument, he'll still try to make it sound like he's making a point when he really isn't. Daft, if you're watching this, please explain in my comments how the fuck this is a problem. Cause to me it seems like a nothing burger.
It's kind of like a Leafy video, but instead of video game footage, it's me drawing, and instead of a mentally handicapped person talking, it's just me. So let's get right into the—
After watching a lot of these videos, it just seems like he was edgier when he was younger.
What now? He just brought up a joke that James made about Leafy being a mentally handicapped person. But he didn't mention his video on JaidenAnimations, where he was making a whole bunch of jokes that she had all these mental illnesses? Seems kinda suspicious, don't you think?
See, Daft, do you not see how fucking annoying that is and how that point has nothing to do with anything? So Daft reads this Tumblr post from one of James's ex-black friends and, oh wait, I'm sorry, he doesn't read it. He gets one of his black friends to read it. Why? I don't know, guess it's because he's white.
Keeping in mind he only takes things down if people talk about them, there's a few things that are still public that are, well, awkward to say the least. Starting off with a bit of irony, he tells the story of him and his twin sister talking about getting weirded out when people talk about weird stereotypes of twins.
Now there are some people who have weird stereotypes about twins. Now I think people are joking when they ask, do you guys have mind powers? Or do you feel pain if I punch him? Who keeps telling people this?
Man, James, I'm glad you don't ask weird questions from people about stereotypes.
Okay, so I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to compare people asking James and his twin sister questions about being twins to James asking questions about race. But the thing is, I think he sees those questions as mildly annoying at worst. Also, I decided to read the comment you quickly flashed on screen. I learned my lesson from people like Prismmate Luke and Creepshow Art to always read comments when people quickly flash them on screen. James is, oddly enough, not asking a question. He's just saying what he thinks racism is. and how he doesn't see positive stereotypes like eating fried chicken as that big of a problem. Now, could you make an argument for why this is a bad thing? I guess, but that's not my job. That's your job. Yes. I also don't think asking a black person if they like fried chicken is as weird as asking twins if they have psychic powers.
He shows his former black friend saying "fo shizzle." He probably thinks that this is so funny, which is why he keeps reusing the joke in his comics.
Okay, that joke that you briefly flashed on screen wasn't tee-hee black man say flo shizzle. The joke of the comic is that the guy doesn't understand what Black Friday is. I think I now see where Prismate Luke got his lying from. DaftPina just really loves to flash up images on screen so he can make up whatever bullshit he wants about it because he knows people won't read it. I guess people like Prismate Luke and Creepshow Art saw this and thought to themselves, golly gee willikers, I can do that!
Native Americans are people James mentions a few times. Starting with Boy They Were Wrong, where he makes fun of Columbus for calling Native Americans Indians. In subsequent videos, he keeps calling them Indians, as recent as a 2020 video, Getting Lost at Camp Geronimo.
Every summer, our troops stayed at this camp called Camp Geronimo, named after the Apache Indian who was the first person to yell Geronimo while doing a sick backflip into his pool.
Yes, Kris Kringle Columbus was wrong when he called them Indians, but some Native Americans actually prefer the term Indian and don't like being called Native Americans. Hell, some of them actually find the term Native American to be offensive because, newsflash, they didn't call themselves the Native Americans. There were over 500 unique tribes with all their unique names, and the continent to them wasn't called America. CGP Grey did a pretty good video about this, so if you want more information, you should go check that out. Don't worry, Daft, work hard and one day you'll be as progressive as I am.
Asians are also people James likes to point out. In videos like My Thoughts on Job Interviews, where the math kids he was tutoring were all Asians with nearly the same haircut and slanted eyes. Noting the race of the kids didn't play a part in the story, it's kind of weird that he went out of his way to make them a stereotype.
He probably based their design off of number 3 from Kids Next Door. It works pretty well within his art style. I love how he used the term stereotype as if he gave them buck teeth and pointy hats and had them say etc, etc.
In the video Academy Anecdotes, he makes this joke a few times.
This kid, I'm not going to say his race because it doesn't matter, but when he went to the bathroom, he would pull his pants and underwear all the way down to the ground. I don't know what happened to that kid, but I think he would agree with me that math is easy. He was Asian. And the kid sitting next to me, his race doesn't matter, so I'm not going to say it. Asian. I'm not going to say the race of the kid because it doesn't matter. Canadian.
You small-brained nincompoop. The joke is subverting expectations. He says Asian, Asian, and then you think he's going to say Asian, but he says Canadian. That's the attempt at humor right there. Although I will say, comparing Asians to rice scum, that's pretty offensive right there. No group of people deserves the right to be compared to rice scum.
Yeah. What is funny is that James got his wish of voicing a black guy, as in the video Strangers Trying to Sell You Stuff.
James' biggest wish was to voice a black guy? Do you have any evidence for this claim? If this is a lie, it's a pretty silly lie. I can already picture Daft's Call Me Carson looking ass writing this script thinking, how can I make James seem racist? I got it. I'll say he wished to voice a black guy, which he, a white man, is not. That will make him seem really racist.
Gives the person a vague accent.
Then he pulls his car over and says, all right, listen, fellas, I'm traveling to Buckeye and I need $8 for gas, but I forgot my wallet at home.
While watching this, I thought, hey, why didn't James get someone else to voice the part? The answer is, stop asking stupid questions and look how funny James is.
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
I mean, it doesn't really sound like a stereotypical black guy accent like, yo dog, what up? Or, hello, my friend. It sounds vaguely southern, but not what I think of when I think of a black stereotype, and maybe the guy did have that kind of accent. As for why James didn't find someone else to voice this character, you don't make an argument as to why he should. Are you saying white people can't voice black characters that they animate themselves? Maybe James just didn't want to hire another guy to do it, or he couldn't find someone. Or maybe he just thought it wasn't a big deal and did it himself. You don't make a single fucking argument. Also, one more thing. I don't even think this character is even supposed to be black. He seems like Mexican or Indian or something.
Is James racist? From the fact that he doesn't understand why certain concepts might be offensive to people, i.e. Uncle Remus from Song of the South, the fact that he'd rather sweep under the rug his uncomfortable past rather than acknowledging it means that he hasn't fully come to terms with what he's done. The fact that there's a prominent number of jokes in his videos where the punchline is the race of said person, and even when apologizing to Dangle, it makes it seem like he doesn't know why she's upset.
Okay, for your last point, the punchline wasn't the race of a person, it was subverting expectations. Deleting certain things is not, quote-unquote, sweeping it under the rug. He knows people have downloaded a lot of his content already. Like, do you just want him to leave everything up and never delete anything?
By that same logic, DaftPina just swept his JaidenAnimations video under the rug.
As for him not understanding why certain concepts might not be offensive to certain people, well, everyone has that problem. That doesn't make someone racist, it makes them ignorant at worst.
But you're saying, wait, it just sounds like he's ignorant about non-white people. Whoa, you also read the definition of racism?
Yeah, I did read the definition of racism. Apparently you didn't, cause the definition you showed doesn't prove your point. Where's the word ignorance in the definition of prejudice? The really sad part is that DaftPina's research is actually really good. So he didn't make this mistake on accident, he clearly did it on purpose. Again, I see where Prismate Luke and Creepshow got their lying from. You're really trying hard to mislead your audience by quickly flashing up a bunch of text on screen hoping they don't read it. Like, did you think you were going to get away with this forever? You're fucking delusional.
Well, along with deleting videos, James is also known for simply trimming them down. One such case is Top 10 Things That Keep Me Up at Night, where if you turn on the captions and read it, he mentions something about a racist comic? Well, upon some research, I found the true ending to that video. Within it, he talks about the comic, and that's it.
So here is the racist comic from the last video. I made it around Michael Jackson's death. So someone asks, will Michael Jackson be black or white in heaven? And here's the racy part. He says he'd be white because everyone's perfect in heaven. And that's the joke. Are you happy?
Oh my god, James made a gulp racist comic around the death of Michael Jackson? Around the time Michael Jackson died? Which was the summer of 2009? And judging by James' age now, he would be a preteen back then? Daft, you fucking pussy, he was a kid back then, get over it! And yes, he was a kid when he made this comic, because he brought this comic up when he was talking about old comics he made when he was a kid. And even if he made the comic when he was an adult, who cares? It's a fucking joke! Get over it, you fucking Karen!
Another trim video stars Adam with something else YT with a voice as clear as day.
I thought we'd be in there for hours.
I hope I never see you again.
Noting, of course, that James hasn't tweeted or talked to Adam publicly since January, remembering that he replies to all of his other friends, so you might have to wonder if they drifted apart or something happened. Adam, in February of 2020, reached over 3 million subs. Cool. But one day later, Adam tweets out,
support your friends, support what they do. Congratulating them is not bad. Make them feel proud of what they're accomplishing. Making fun of them because you don't want to come off weird is lame. Let your friends know they're doing good. Be fucking supportive. Support your friends.
And that implies someone was making fun of him for his success?
Oh my god, Daft is trying to make an argument. It's so fucking adorable. It's like speculation on top of speculation with no hard evidence. Like, are you trying to imply that because James trimmed a video from 3 years ago, he has a problem with something else YT?
And then 3 days later, Adam tweets out,
yo, anyone just want to chill and play video games? No cameras, no mics, no having to try to be entertaining. Just having a good time hanging out.
These tweets might entail why he didn't post as much in 2020.
Okay, so he wants to hang out with people and just play video games without, you know, making content out of it. What the fuck does this have to do with James?
Adam seemingly didn't promote it, and it'd be hard for James to cut him out like he was in a video.
So something else YT didn't promote the game, so you assumed that James wanted to cut him out but couldn't because it would be too hard. That seems speculative at best, but it's kind of like 90% of your points in this video, so who the fuck cares? And even then, how does this make James look bad? Oh no, he had a fight with his friend, and he still left his friend in the game, possibly getting him more subs and views. Oh no, James is worse than Hickler.
Come to think of it, in like a recent video, James talks about his current girlfriend. I bring this up as if they broke up. Would he delete the video? Is that why she isn't named? So he can just keep the video up if they broke up?
Or Daft, it could be because he has over 10 million fucking subscribers. And him or her didn't want her name to be disclosed to the public, so she doesn't get doxxed. And knowing you and your doxing reputation, if he did disclose her name, would you try to find her address? Just asking here. Aw, was that a bit of a low blow and kind of speculative? Well, now you know how it feels. Like, you're always giving James the least charitable interpretation. If James breaks up with his girlfriend, assuming it's a very, very terrible breakup, he would probably delete the video, even without her name in it. And if he did name her in the video, and they did break up but it wasn't that bad, he would probably leave the video up. But you just assume that because he didn't name her in the video, it's because he's planning that if they broke up, he's still gonna leave it up so he can keep making money off of it.
Case in point, his multi-animator project, that's just gone. I mean, you can still see the behind the scenes video, but it really makes it a lot worse when you see the hard work behind it, only for James to go, haha. No, gone. Which, what might have happened is that James unfriended one of the animators, so I guess everyone else had to suffer?
Okay, so right off the bat, you take the least charitable interpretation and assume that he took down the video because he unfriended one of the animators and everybody else had to suffer. But I decided to do some digging to figure out why he actually took down the video. Research I'm assuming Daft did, but because it doesn't support his narrative, he decided to leave it out of the video. The reason why James took the video down was because of the thumbnail, which has the text on it, embarrassed, map, and there's a little girl in front of him. Now, Daft, use that tiny brain of yours. I'm joking, it's not tiny, you're smart, but you're going to play ignorance if I don't explain this. What does the word map mean now on the internet? That's right, it stands for minor attracted person, not multiple animator project. And I think that little girl in front of him is also his niece, which just makes everything so much worse. And Daft, I know you did the research for this and saw the thumbnail, but you're pretending not to because you're a disingenuous liar. In fact, what makes him look really disingenuous is the screenshot of the REUPLOAD he shows a cut-off comment right at the very bottom. I decided to read that comment and this is what it says. Yep, this is where I started doing my research, but Daft, using his big brain, decided to cut it out.
A tweet that got a lot of people angry. As for James, who's known for being a kids channel, to say something like this is out of place. After mass attention, he deleted the tweet and apologized for it, which alone ties into my theory.
I, James, don't have to apologize unless it damages my business.
Oh boy, we're going to get into James' apology for making a tweet that, to me, really didn't seem like a big deal, and I'm neurodivergent, the person who should be offended, but I wasn't. Do you think Daft will A, take the least charitable interpretation, or B, you guys know it's A? Here's a question, Daft. How will a tweet that people didn't like and really didn't make him look that bad at all hurt his business in any way? You don't make an argument, and I'm kind of sick of you not making an argument. For the love of God, please make an argument. He made a tweet that people didn't like, he apologized for the tweet, and you just assumed, oh, he only apologizes when it hurts his business, even though this didn't hurt his business in any way. This is why no one apologizes publicly anymore. It's always followed by, you didn't apologize until you got called out for it. Or, you only apologize because it was hurting your business. Or, you only apologize because people got mad at you.
On another side of James, he participated in the Streamy Awards of 2019 after sending a form that cost him money. Now James himself can prove he's the one and only de facto greatest animator of them all.
I really don't think James sees himself as the greatest de facto animator of all time. He probably just wanted to win a reward. That's a conclusion 99.9% of people would come to, but since you want to paint him in the worst light possible, you went with the least charitable interpretation like you always do. Also, why did you bring up that he had to pay money to enter? The most he would have to pay is $500, and I'm pretty sure James has a lot of money. $100 is just about nothing to me, and since James is about 100 times bigger than me, I'm pretty sure he could spend $500 a day for the rest of his fucking life.
He might be asking, which at this point is like a lot of questions, why me bringing this up matters.
Wow, Daft, you read my mind. I've actually been asking that a lot throughout this video, and the answer is so you can paint James in the worst light possible.
Well, he did make a video complaining about how another person ranked animators and wanted everyone to be equal.
But then you have people who are unironically making tier lists of real people. You can have your opinion about people's content, but then when you start making lists and saying these people are, in my opinion, better than these people, it kind of crosses the line into disrespectful, don't you think?
Well, equal under him, he wants an award. One that he lost.
Oh my god, Daft actually made an argument. Good on you, Daft. Too bad this point is really easy to debunk. I know you're trying to paint James as a hypocrite, but the thing is, he's saying he has a problem with people making tier lists of real people. Them as people, not their content. He even says in the clip you show, you can have your opinion about people's content, and you say he wants people to be equal, but only equal under him. He's at the top of that list, Daft! But let's just say that Daft's point was 100% correct, and James was a hypocrite right here. Okay, it doesn't seem like too big of a deal. You want all animators to be seen as equal, but you entered a contest so that you could win, to show that you were a better animator than other animators. Wow, what a career-ruining statement. And yes, James lost. Sometimes when you enter a contest, you lose. I don't know why you're pointing out that he lost, like it means something, but okay.
When a fan asked why Jaiden didn't participate, she states that she hates award shows and what they represent. Shortly after I replied to her, she deleted her tweet.
Daft, I thought we were talking about James, not Jaiden. So I really don't see why you're bringing this up. Are you trying to imply that James saw her tweet and told her to take it down? Are you saying that she disagrees with James when it comes to reward shows, therefore she's a hypocrite for still being friends with him? If that is your point, Daft, I know this might be a crazy concept for you, but people can disagree on things and still be friends. I have many friends who I disagree with on many things, and I'm still friends with them. Also, you'll notice that Daft twisted what Jaiden said, and by twisted, I mean he completely made up what she said. What she said was, to be a nominee, you have to submit a form, and I don't because I don't like to support award shows. So Daft, where did she say she hates award shows because of what they represent? Daft, you do know someone can not support something for a myriad of reasons, not just because of what they represent. You know that, right?
Though it seems like he has a track record of saying things good people would, but doing the actions of a bad guy.
I'm gonna save that clip for my next video on DaftPina. Trust me, it's gonna come in good use.
And if these things are the things that he's okay with showing to people, what is he like behind the scenes?
Hooray, Daft is leaking DMs. That means I can leak any DMs I have with him in the future. And you at home watching this can now do the same. Because according to Daft, leaking DMs is A-okay.
Oh, there are many stories I can tell in great length. No, instead, we're just going to focus on the last time I ever spoke with him, as it's a summary of who he is as a person.
Yep, one conversation is a summary of who someone is as a person.
Last thing I typed to James was asking if he saw the video, the thumbnail thing, and that I hope he didn't unfriend Alex Myers after watching my video. And then I finished off the conversation with a quote from his own video.
So I think that the people you see throughout your daily life aren't strangers. They're potential friends.
But can you take a guess how he responded to that? Take a moment, because the whiplash of a response still hurts my neck to this day.
I don't know why he unfriended Alex, or if he did unfriend Alex. I'm kind of confused about this whole thing, but I'm pretty sure Alex is not a stranger. He's a pretty big, well-known YouTuber. And I think in James' video where he says strangers are a potential friend, he was referring to the strangers you bump into on the street. Not, YouTubers who he was, presumably already friends with if he unfriended him.
Because of what you said, I will never work with you or watch your videos, as the videos I've watched have been extremely disrespectful and biased AF, and when you inevitably leak this DM, let me explain to your audience why I feel this way. Ooh, he's gonna explain why he feels this way.
Okay, so before we get into James's points, you can see that Daft put text saying that James gave him permission to leak the DM. No, Daft, he fucking didn't, and you know he didn't. You're just playing dumb. He said when you leak this DM, not that you should leak the DM.
And then he goes on to list his grievances, starting with my Jaiden video, which this conversation took place after I apologized to Jaiden, but I guess he forgot.
Alright, let's break this down. Number 1, James could have forgotten, but he also could have just not forgiven you. Second, let's use your own logic against you. I, Daft, don't have to apologize unless it hurts my business. You spent this whole video saying his apologies weren't genuine, but after you got massive backlash on your Jaiden video, which you left up for forever, you finally took it down after you said you weren't removing it in another video you did on JaidenAnimations. And you apologized in a tweet which most people won't see. And third, his grievances don't have to do with what you addressed in your tweet. He said that you claimed that Jaiden was faking her mental illness. In your tweet, you said your video was in poor taste due to Jaiden's mental health. He also brought up that you made multiple hit pieces on her, including making a video reviewing porn of her, which you have not apologized for. Just because you apologized to Jaiden for some of the things you've done to her, doesn't mean you can't be criticized for the things you haven't apologized for. That's just stupid. Also, yes, Daft did do a video reviewing porn of JaidenAnimations. You can't find it anymore, but he did do it. He doesn't address it because he's just trying to sweep it under the rug and pretend it didn't happen.
You were trying to find Rebecca's home address.
Which was actually a previous conversation I had with James, showing him the email, the one saying that I was going to film at her studio, but I guess he forgot.
Alright, Daft, that's kind of a good point, even though you later doxed someone, so... But wait! After I read James' comment, he said that you were grasping at straws and trying to paint someone in a bad light. And I personally 100% believe him because you have shown that you do that throughout this video.
And then he ends the DM with a reiteration of the things already said, and posts 2 Google Drive links to my videos, which, yeah, they're still on there. It's funny to think that not only does he have these still saved, meaning he's frequently showing it to people.
How do you know he's frequently showing it to people? What, do you think James just hangs out with people in Discords and just constantly talks shit about you? You have no evidence to support this claim, and is it just me? Or is this pretty similar to Creepshow Art's point about Hopeless Peaches frequently showing her phone number to people?
Also makes me feel entirely weird that all of these people have seen my private phone number, so that's fun, I love that.
But the fact that a week after he stopped speaking with me, he tried to apologize the way he treated Dangle.
He did? Where? You don't show that part, which is, quite frankly, pretty suspicious. But knowing Daft, he probably just took James's apology as disingenuous.
While he is more than willing to delete, trim, and never mention his past, either from his actions or the way he treats his friends, on the other side, it is something he is more than able to hold over your head forever.
No, you got that whole thing backwards. You are the one constantly holding his bad actions above his head, even after he apologizes for them. While your actions, which quite frankly are much worse, you act like your little apology tweet excuses all of it. You are the one who deletes and trims videos so you can sweep your bad actions under the rug. And by holding it over your head, you mean he brought it up in a DM and didn't make a public video about it. Cry me a river, Daft. For example, this video I'm covering right now. I was a little suspicious while I was watching this, cause I could have sworn there were more terrible points that Daft had in this very video. But after I watched a video covering this very same video done by Puddle Beast, I discovered that Daft edited out a very long section of this video. The video is currently at 17 minutes 42 seconds, but originally it was 24 minutes 44 seconds long. He edited out a whole 7 minutes and 20 seconds. Now I guess you could make the argument that he didn't leave a pinned comment underneath this video clarifying that he edited out something, because he already pinned James's comment. But he'd even leave something in the description of the video to clarify that he edited it. Maybe there's a tweet or a community post out there, but those are a lot harder to find. But believe it or not, the part he edited out was the worst part of the video. I would go over it, but this video is already long enough. So I highly recommend you check out Puddle Beast video. The first half goes over the stuff I didn't go over. I have so many more points I want to go over, but this video is already long enough. So instead, I'm going to make a part 2. It won't be as long as this one, it won't be a commentary, it will be more structured and go point by point. In that video, I'm going to be mostly talking about people like Arthurian and Antunes, but I'm also going to be adding more to my points about JaidenAnimations and TheOdd1sOut that I haven't gone over in this video. Because trust me, you haven't seen anything yet. Daft has been manipulating people for long enough, and I noticed that no really big commentator has called him out yet. And maybe there's a reason for that. Admittedly, I'm also a little bit afraid of DaftPina. What if he docks me, or leaks some of my private info? But after dealing with people like Kai Wise, Prismate Luke, and CreepshowArt, I realize now the damage his content can cause, so I just have to call him out. James from TheOdd1sOut, if you're watching this, I would highly appreciate it if you left a comment underneath this video, just so I know you've seen it. As for JaidenAnimations, this might be a awkward time to bring this up, but, would you like to go on a date with me sometime?